I think high school would be like a bouncy house. Fun with my friends. Amazing.
Hard.
Lots of tests and quizzes.
Hard but fun.
Different.
Adventurous. A lot better than middle school. Difficult but also fun.
Oh my God.
High school is like so weird.
Chill. Like, I wish I could tell myself to chill out, because when you're in high school you think that everything that happens in high school is so important.
You know, I think like everybody has like their own kind of challenges and obstacles that come along in high school. But I also had to remind myself that I wasn't the only one going through the particular experiences that I was going through. I think a lot of people feel like their case is individual, but I think like dealing with the obstacles of high school is something that a lot of people have to do.
The biggest challenge was probably mental health. I've been pretty depressed my whole life, and I wasn't really seeking much help for it until I went to college.
Paying attention, really, and giving myself the drive to care about the work that I'm doing, because while I'm in school I'd rather be doing something else. I'd rather be drawing or painting or listening to music or just doing something that I really care about and that makes me happy, and not something that I'm forcing myself to do. But my biggest challenge is just trying to get that work drive.
I really appreciate the challenges I faced in high school and the challenges I faced in my hometown in general, because it made me really proud of who I was, and it made me really proud that I was able to make decisions that went against the grain.
I would say that something that I saw a lot was like with academics, like students experience a lot of anxiety and stress. So like it seems like there's a lot of pressure, whether you are feeling like college bound or you have like other plans.
I feel like there's a lot of pressure on everyone to get really good grades. The progress report came in for second quarter or third quarter, and I was failing 3 classes. And that didn't feel good. Yeah, I just pride myself with how badly I did.
I felt that others were ahead of me in what I was supposed to be doing at this point in my life.
Now though, I realize that sometimes it's better not to completely like plan your path and adhere to that path. I wish when I was younger, or now, that I've had more experience outside of the classroom and less time like reading, studying in the library, and more time speaking to people who are different than me and who come from different places than me and who've experienced like completely different circumstances than I have, more than reading, you know, books that kind of sometimes in bottom line don't matter.
And if I didn't necessarily figure out how to fix the social problem in high school, like at least I was like, you know, fulfilling like my needs and my academic success.
I mean, high school's rough for everyone, but I didn't enjoy the way that they set up school, in that sort of indoctrinating you to learn in a very certain way. But I had very creative friends, and they made high school pretty bearable.
So in the counseling piece, like learning how to take care of yourself, learning how to deal with stress, I think those are really valuable lessons that can help you in high school, but also as you move on to say like college or different career pathways. I think generally things you want is someone that feels like socially healthy, mentally healthy, and like physically healthy, right? So like overall well-being is probably a big concern.
But I think high school in general is just a very difficult time for most people, dealing with toxic relationships and also just like a lot of bullying. And it's like, I don't know, I think I was a more vulnerable person back then.
Actually, the goal of the counselor should be to talk to you before you are getting sad, you know? Because we all get sad, we're all human, but what we want to do is more like preventative stuff, and it's easier to do that when you have like a fuller team, hence like more funding.
I think the lack of support actually in terms of mental health, made me stronger. It helped me deal with it on my own, but it came with a lot of struggle, and I feel that there are probably a lot of kids who could not have made it out, and that's a very unfortunate thing that I think we need to deal with as a country and society.
I think like identity is really challenging. One of the biggest challenges in high school was people having an idea of who I was.
I didn't have the same faith and spiritual basis as they had, so it was a weird conversation in which like I would talk to these people and they'd be like, yeah, but you can just pray, and I was like, I don't feel that. That's not who I am. I've never experienced that.
I stopped caring what people think about me. I like wear what I want. I speak my mind.
It also just taught me to be like proud of how I feel and to like kind of solidify my feelings. And I think when you're in a position in which you feel differently than other people, you learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about what you want to do, where your beliefs come from, and why those are important.
It really wasn't until after high school that I like was 100% okay with being a queer person. I think if you are particularly a person of color or maybe in the LGBTQ group, like that definitely has its setbacks, and it's going to have its setbacks because like it's not normalized, you know, it's not normal to be gay in high school.
And it was hard having to hold back or be the kind of odd person out.
So I think a lot of these outside factors that can kind of really play into like the emotional landscape that you bring to school is kind of a tough thing to deal with a lot of times, because I think even if you live in like a really loving home and you have a good community behind you, you can still have self-doubt and be like dealing with a lot of stuff.
So I did have those people, not necessarily at my school, but I had them around me, and it always taught me to be true to who I am and not like waver just because I'm surrounded by people who are different than me and believe differently than me.
Yeah, in my experience, I think having, like, to me what's good for students is like having at least one adult you can talk to.
My mom found out and she wanted to do everything that she could to help me. And she got me an organizational like therapist who diagnosed me with ADHD, mild OCD, and anxiety. So
in our country, the ratio of student to counselor is crazy, right? So like in California, it's 1,000 to 1.
Piedmont had something called the Wellness Center, which is basically just free psychology interns who are doing their residencies.
I think it really takes like kind of a whole village to like make sure everyone's taken care of.
if I don't get the help that I need, it will impact my future and where I want to go.